Clouds settled into the valley. Not too bad a view for coffee. I did pass a few established spots, but they were kind of big, so I went for just another dispersed spot. I can fit this tent pretty much anywhere. Brr. This was also the dewiest morning in a while. I'm upslope, a couple hundred feet from the lake, so the clouds didn't get to me, but rainfly was a little damp. Last night I basically started taking the switchbacks down to the store and then just dropped off when I started seeing anything that looked flat enough to camp on. Probably could have come over here, but well, a lot of these are so big they can handle multiple tents, and there has been a good amount of other hikers out here, and I would always rather just camp alone. So the ADT route does follow the CDT red line. This is one of the few times where I went off of the CDT red line. It basically drops down, hits the lake, and then for, I don't know, 9 or 10 miles, you were going around a lake on a bike path or something right by a road. There is a alternate off the old lay maps, which basically crosses the lake outlet down by the store and then gets straight back onto the trail going up Hope Pass. That is what I did last year. That is what I'm fully intending to do this year. I don't really care about road adjacent miles in an area I've already been, I guess. After this, I basically will climb from 9,500 back up to about, I think, 12,500 on Hope Pass. And after that, well, actually, once I get back on the trail on the far side of the lake, I only have about 10 more miles of the CDT. I basically cross the collegiate wilderness, and then I split off and I head for Crested Butte. I have enjoyed meeting people and talking to folks along the way, but I am quite happy to be getting on to new trail again. Since I came in from, like Georgetown up to Argentine, and I skipped Leadville, this is going to be my only busy CDT Colorado Trail town stop. When I came through Twin Lakes before, there was a whole little crowd hanging out in front of the store, but we'll see. CDT crowds are funny because there are alternates, most of them cut off large swaths of miles, and a lot of people take those. So I was talking to some southbounders behind me, and they're saying, yeah, we were ahead of a whole bubble, but they had gone over grays, and they said that a lot of people in the bubble were going to do Silverthorn, which is a little easier, a little lower. So they didn't know if they were ahead or behind at that point. My feet have been holding together a little better. That was also helped by the fact that the trail through the Mount Massive wilderness was just easier going than Holy Cross, where there were a lot of rocks and up and down. But I am at least feeling a little more hopeful. I have 66 some miles to Crested Butte, which will be a hotel stop probably, full charge, all of that. I'm intending to get 3 dinners since I'm all out of beans, and then I have about a day and a half left of snacks, so I think I can lighten up on those a little bit. It has been really, really hard to figure out how much food I need on this one, partially because of all the town stops, and my hunger has just gone all over the place. When it's super hot or super cold, I tend not to eat as much as I do when it's, quote unquote nice. The day I came over Argentine, I barely touched anything. I think I have a little over 200 miles left of Colorado, maybe a little more than that. So not nearly done with it, but I am going to get into the less strenuous section as near as I can tell. When I was looking on the map, as far as where I leave and where I'm going, it looks like I'm on roads. I don't know if they're pavement or Jeep roads. You really can't tell from the map. But either way, it looks like it's a little less of the kind of extreme up and down that I've been doing and enjoying. Resupply stops are going to be a little more spread out from here. Less of the 30-40 mile carries and more of the 70-80 plus. Also, once I get into Utah, that's where water becomes a challenge again. Though the Utah coordinator also does water caches for ADT hikers, so I will have reliable water through there. And my understanding is Nevada, there are enough sources where you don't have to cache, at least on the adjusted routes. I guess it used to go through some more remote areas, and there are a couple of them, like Water Canyon, I'm intending to go through anyway. I've been talking to other CDT hikers and explaining how New Mexico went for me, and I've been getting nostalgic. I really enjoyed hiking through New Mexico, both the east-west one on the Get and then doing the CDT at the end of the year. Funny thing is, someone were talking about friends having moaned about the road walks in New Mexico. That's always one of my pet peeves, because the road walks are actually not that long if you're on the red line. The people who are complaining about these long multi-day road walks are mostly taking shortcuts, and the way a lot of the shortcuts work on the CDT, as I have said endlessly, is they take you off trail and put you on road. This is also just a weird year to be out of contact, because you come back and all of a sudden you're getting all these notifications and jokes from friends about eating cats and dogs, and you're like, wait, what did I miss? I was joking with some mountain bikers a few days ago about, wouldn't it be funny if I'd just like gone completely out of contact when I left Delaware, and I was like, oh yeah, so I haven't read the news since March 27th. Anything happen? Just kind of same old. So the climb south of here is one of those that people go on about. I remember it being pretty steep and steady. The lake is down at about 9,500 and the pass is up about 12,500. The one hitch I have is I am trying to order a new phone to get delivered to my parents to then get to me before I get to Utah. And ideally I need reception tomorrow morning. So we'll see. I may have to stop at the pass rather than going too far over like I'd prefer. This was originally where I was going to get my cold weather gear. My parents had come to meet me here in 22 when I was doing the CDT and got to this point. And they had gotten a cabin and really liked the area, so they had been talking about doing the same thing. When I needed the cold weather stuff a little earlier and they came to Montezuma, we changed that plan, though they may come visit me one more time before I get too far to the west. They see me a lot more these days because I'm always coming and going from some trip and dropping by their house for a day or two here or there, so it's less of an event for them to see me, I think. I have gotten a few questions about the fires back in Southern California. They are pretty bad. They are burning a lot of the areas that I really like to hike, and in fact, the all-day conditioning hike I had planned for the wilderness class next year is not going to work because of the airport fire, the one that's burning over Santiago Peak. It's also burning Mount Baldy and the Keller Fire Lookout, and that fire lookout is one of those in the network that I volunteered with years ago. I did 2 seasons doing volunteer shifts at the one on Tequit's Peak, and it's really a shame seeing something like that burn. So Jen is physically okay. We don't own any sort of a house, which could burn, obviously, and our storage locker is way down the hill. Ironically, one of the communities that burned is one of those that I always kind of eyed going by, going, well, I wouldn't mind living out here in like El Carrizo. But that is just kind of the reality of being out west these days. We get bad fire seasons like this. It does mean Jen has had to adjust where she is staying as far as campgrounds. When I'm not in town, she rotates between a couple of campgrounds, just sleeping out of her car or out of a tent. And 3 of those that we use are currently closed due to the fire. Oh, the end of today is going to be fun. So I have gotten a lot of heartbreaking pictures and videos from hiking friends back there. But again, it is what it is. It is the reality about life out west, unfortunately. Okay, first priority, find a bathroom. Second priority, get resupplied. Third priority, get the hell out of Dodge and try and finish the CDT. I remember the far side of the pass here. It's just, man, really, really pretty. So I am looking forward to that. Bacon and firewood. Now this is more speaking my language. I was afraid there was going to be a crowd. So the owner says he's been getting a couple of people a day, but nobody here so far. It actually got busy. Lots of friends. Okay, it is a little after 1 o'clock. I've been sitting around waiting on my battery. Back up, fully charged. Also charged my phone because I was having fun talking to people. And now it's time to get on around the lake and up Hope Pass. So other than walking the bike path around the lake, which I didn't want to do, there are two ways to get across the inlet, outlet, whatever it is over here. The one I did last time, the one I was going to use, requires some wading. Per the people at the store, some folks coming the other way said it was really deep and muddy. So he recommended doing the extra mile to basically where there's a footbridge to go across. I told myself I was going to do the road walk down to the bridge, but I don't know. I feel like getting my feet wet, I guess. So I bought 3 dinners, 2 north sides, plus 1 backpacker pantry sort of thing, and enough snacks to get me through 4 days, I think. I swapped out my fuel canister, and most of my other consumables are good. I'm only expecting 3-4 days into Crested Butte. If things go well, they don't always. And I'm not quite sure about tonight. I mean, I'm leaving here at 1 or 2. My normal goal, all other things being equal, would be up and over Hope's Pass. There are some dispersed areas I remember on the other side. However, I could really use reception in the morning for something. I'm not even sure I'm going to have reception on Hope's Pass though, so I may just have to give up on that and let things lay where they lay. And here's my boots off crossing. Also, I was warned that they're doing some sort of release from upstream, and I probably don't want to drink the water. Well, I was going to take my shoes off, but I am feeling lazy. I think I've been paying money to ice my feet in hotels. That's much more efficient. Well, I'd actually been talking with others about doing the bridge because the beta from coming the other way was it was muddy, but I don't know what they were talking about. This was fine. So Willis Gulch is the one that has a bridge, and Interlaken is the one that you go all the way around. It's like 10 miles from here, I think. So I've been having a grand old time booking it up here. I really want to do the extra mile up and over the pass and continue on. But this is likely the last reception I'm going to have for a couple of days, I think, as near as I can tell from what I can remember. And I kind of need reception in the morning. And see, in some ways, this is why it's bad having reception, because when I have reception, I get like pulled to do things back in civilization land. So I am going to stop here. I'm giving up, you know, a couple of hours, and this will set me up so I can handle my stuff in the morning and then get going. I can clear the CDT. All I have to do is get over this and then Lake Ann pass, and then I'll be off. Probably spend the night on the timberline, and then the day after that I'll be back on the road walks, and the day after that Crested Butte, maybe.